Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and I like to do fashion DIYs, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to sew this A-line skirt. This is such an easy sewing pattern and there are so many different ways to modify this one, but today I'll be sharing with you how to sew this basic skirt with pockets, and I will have the sewing pattern listed below on my Etsy shop if you are interested. I created this pattern specifically not to have any darts on the front to maximize the effect of printed fabric. This skirt has a waist facing as well as side seam pockets that are optional. You will also need an 8-inch zipper, and it's your choice if you want to use an invisible zipper or not. For this tutorial, I am using an invisible zipper with an invisible zipper presser foot, which I 100% recommend. I will have one linked below if you are interested. As you can see, I don't actually have enough fabric, so the printed patterns will not match. But we are going to overlook that for the purposes of this video. I recommend using 3/4 to 1 yard in fabric to be safe. For the facing, I recommend using interfacing for those pieces. I didn't have any at the moment, so I had to opt out. Then I cut out my pieces. I cut my center front and my center front facing on the folds and cut out both my back pieces and both of my back facing pieces. For this tutorial, I wanted to include pockets. I need 4 pocket pieces, but I was running out of this fabric and I only had enough to cut 2 in this fabric, which is perfect because that is the bare minimum of what I need, and I'll explain more when I am sewing. And for the other 2 remaining pocket pieces, I am using some plain cotton that I have. This step is optional, but if you have access to a serger, I highly recommend serging all of your pieces. This really gives your garments a store-bought quality. To start constructing the skirt, I'm going to sew up the darts on the back 2 pieces of the skirt, then give those darts a press towards the center back. Now we are going to work on sewing the pockets. To minimize the appearance of the pocket, I'm going to take the matching plaid pocket pieces and sew them to the back skirt pattern pieces. This way, when you move or sit, the pocket will be less noticeable than if you were using a contrasting fabric. Line each pocket piece up with the notches on the side seams and pin right sides together. Sew the pocket bags to the skirt at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then fold over the pocket bag and do a top stitch. Do the same thing for the front of the skirt. Pin the cotton pocket bags right sides together at the notches and sew and add a top stitch to the pocket. Now we are going to put our skirt together. Place the front and backs of the skirts right sides together, aligning the side seams and the pocket bags. Starting from the waistband, I am sewing at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance until just below the start of the pocket bag. Then I rotate 90 degrees and sew around the pocket bag until I reach the side seam again, pivoting another 90 degrees once I reach the end, and then sew down the rest of the side seam. Now we are moving on to sewing the facing for the skirt. Ideally, yours will have interfacing. Start by sewing the back pieces to the front piece right sides together. To attach the facing to the skirt, pin the top of the facing to the waistband of the skirt with right sides together. Then sew, leaving about an inch or so on either side at the center back unsewn. This will be where we insert the zipper. Then add an understitch to the facing to prevent the seam from rolling forward. To close up the center back seam, we are going to place right sides together from the notch down and sew. Press open the seams. Now I'm going to attach my zipper to the skirt, one side at a time, and I used my invisible presser foot to sew the zipper in place. Once my zipper was sewn on, I sewed the top of the facing that I didn't yet sew to the skirt. To attach the zipper to the facing, fold the facing right sides together towards the zipper and sew right along the zippered edge. Before turning it right side out, clip the corner to reduce bulk. The last and final step is the hand stitching and the hem. To keep the facing from rolling, I tacked it to the pocket bag with a few hand stitches. And for the hem, you can choose to do a regular hem, but I didn't want to interrupt the pattern of my fabric, so I decided on a blind hem, which I did by hand, and I did a 3/4 inch seam allowance for it. And the skirt is done. I see skirts in this style retail for $100, and now you can make your own for much less. If you are interested in the sewing pattern that I used, it will be linked down below, and it's also available in sizes 0 through 20. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!